Get ready for the biggest news of the day. First up, a massive deal between the US and China over TikTok is on the table. US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping are set to finalize an agreement that could see the popular app switch to US-controlled ownership, potentially ending a major dispute. We've got all the details on what this framework agreement entails and what it means for the future of TikTok. Then, chaos erupts as Airtel's network goes down nationwide, leaving millions disconnected. Users across Delhi NCR, Mumbai, Bengaluru, and beyond are flooding social media with complaints, unable to make calls or access mobile internet. We'll break down the extent of this widespread outage and what Airtel is saying about restoring services. We'll dive into how Democrats are facing an extinction moment as strategists push them onto new platforms. With more Americans getting their news from social media, some within the party are realizing they need to adapt or risk becoming irrelevant. We'll explore the urgent calls for politicians to master online video and digital spaces to connect with voters. And finally, New York is proposing rules to shield kids from addictive social media feeds. Attorney General Letitia James has put forward regulations for the Safe for Kids Act, aiming to protect minors from algorithmically personalized content and late-night notifications. We'll tell you what these proposed rules mean for social media giants and young users. Stick around, you don't want to miss this. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. A landmark TikTok deal emerges between US and China. Get ready, because a seismic shift might be happening with TikTok. The United States has announced a framework deal with China that could see the wildly popular app transition to US-controlled ownership. This development comes after intense talks in Madrid between U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng, who also discussed the broader U.S.-China trade dispute. President Donald Trump himself teased the agreement on social media, hinting that a deal was struck to save the company that young people in our country very much wanted. This potential resolution stems from a federal law that originally mandated TikTok's sale or ban due to national security concerns, with a deadline looming. However, Trump, who has expressed affection for the platform and believes it aids his campaign, had previously put the ban on pause and extended the divestment deadline. The framework agreement, according to Bessent, calls for the app to switch to US-controlled ownership, though he declined to offer specifics, noting Trump and Xi Jinping are expected to finalize the deal soon. The discussions also touched upon other trade tensions, including tariffs and China's recent probes into the U.S. semiconductor sector, including one against NVIDIA. Social media users are buzzing about the implications, with many curious about the specifics of the ownership change and its impact on the app's operations and data security. Experts like Sarah Krebs of Cornell University's Tech Policy Institute have raised questions about whether national security concerns are fully addressed by this deal, particularly regarding data and algorithm safeguards. Will this framework truly safeguard national security and satisfy all parties involved? Next, we're heading across the globe as a major telecom provider faces widespread disruption. Stay tuned. Airtel Network plunges into chaos nationwide. Millions of Airtel users across India were left disconnected on Monday as the telecom giant experienced a massive network outage. From Delhi NCR and Mumbai to Bengaluru and other major cities, customers reported being unable to make calls or access mobile internet services. The hashtag #AirtelDown quickly began trending on social media platforms like X and Instagram, as frustrated users shared their experiences. The company, operating under the handle Airtel Cares, confirmed the service interruption via an X post. "We are currently experiencing a network outage. Our team is actively working to resolve the issue and restore services promptly. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused," the statement read, acknowledging the widespread disruption. Reports indicate the outage began around 3:30 p.m., with Down Detector registering over 3,600 outage reports for Airtel by 4:30 p.m. Users expressed their frustration, with one ex-user lamenting, "Airtel's mobile network seemed down, unable to make any calls or use data services. Looks like a major network outage today." Another user in Delhi questioned, "Is Airtel network down in Delhi?" Since 1 hour, I am facing calling issue, incoming and outgoing both. The incident has sparked significant public reaction, with many questioning the reliability of telecom services during peak usage times. The company's response, while apologetic, highlights the ongoing efforts to restore normalcy for its affected subscriber base. The duration and full impact of the outage remain a concern for many. What caused this massive network failure, and how quickly can Airtel bounce back? Now we shift gears to the political arena, where a party is facing a stark warning about its digital presence. Don't go anywhere. Democrats warned of extinction moment over digital strategy deficit. A stark warning is echoing through the Democratic Party: adapt to new digital platforms or face obsolescence. Strategists are urging Democrats to embrace platforms like TikTok and YouTube Shorts, recognizing that a significant portion of Americans, especially younger voters, now get their news and information online, often through video. Congressman Richie Torres is highlighted as an example of a politician actively engaging on TikTok, emphasizing the need to master short-form video, brief TV appearances, and longer podcast interviews, what he calls the 3 threes. Stephen Jakubowicz, co-founder of Van Ness Creative Strategies, stresses that Democrats are currently lagging behind Republicans in their social media communication, particularly with video content. With over 50% of Americans consuming news via social media and 75% watching video news, the urgency for politicians to be present and effective on these platforms is paramount. The article points to the success of figures like Zoran Mamdani, a New York City Council member who effectively uses filmed interactions for his online presence, and notes that some Democratic campaigns are even enlisting younger family members to manage their social media. The advice is clear: get good at it, or risk becoming extinct. However, the narrative isn't without nuance. While acknowledging the importance of social media, some, like Adelita Grijalva, argue that elections are not solely won by online engagement, emphasizing grassroots organizing and policy. Despite this, the younger generation of politicians, like Deja Fox, contend that neglecting these digital spaces means failing to invest in leaders who can effectively message to future voters, potentially leaving the party without a strong foundation for the next generation. Can the Democratic Party pivot fast enough to avoid this predicted extinction moment? Up next, a major state is taking a bold step to protect its youngest citizens from the digital world. You won't want to miss this. New York proposes strict rules to curb addictive social media feeds for kids. New York is taking a significant stand to protect children from the potentially harmful effects of addictive social media, with Attorney General Letitia James proposing new regulations for the state's Stop Addictive Feeds Exploitation Safe for Kids Act. This landmark law, passed last year, aims to shield users under 18 from algorithmically personalized content unless they have parental consent. Instead, their feeds would be restricted to content from accounts they actively follow. The proposed rules delve into the practicalities of implementing the Safe for Kids Act, focusing on robust age verification methods and parental consent mechanisms. Companies will have options for verifying a user's age, including submitting an image or verifying email and phone numbers, provided these methods are effective and protect user data. Furthermore, the law prohibits social media platforms from sending notifications to users under 18 between midnight and 6 a.m. for those under 18 who wish to opt into algorithmic feeds and nighttime notifications. Explicit parental permission will be required. Supporters of the law argue that addictive social media features are directly contributing to a youth mental health crisis, citing rising rates of anxiety and depression. Children and teenagers are struggling with high rates of anxiety and depression because of addictive features on social media platforms, James stated. While some digital privacy and free speech advocates have raised concerns, and numerous age verification laws face legal challenges nationwide, New York's Attorney General's office pointed to the fact that many platforms are already implementing their own age assurance methods, proving the feasibility of such protections. Will these proposed rules be enough to truly safeguard young users, and how will social media giants respond? We'll be right back with a lightning recap of all today's top stories and a full call to action. And that's a wrap on today's breaking news. We saw a monumental framework deal struck between the US and China over TikTok, potentially changing its ownership landscape. India faced widespread disruption with a major network outage affecting millions of Airtel users. Democrats received a wake-up call about the urgent need to adapt to new digital platforms or risk political irrelevance. And New York is stepping up to protect children with proposed rules against addictive social media feeds. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to BuzzCast for more, hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, leave a comment with your thoughts on today's stories, and follow us on all our social media channels.